Welcome to the Silicon Slope Show. Most importantly, welcome to your life. It's still happening. It's still going on. You're not dead yet. Real quick, VIP weekly hospitality tickets for the Black Desert Championship 2024 Professional Golf Association, the PGA Tour, FedEx Cup are available now at blackdesertevents.com. The full field event is set to take place on the 19-hole championship Tom Weisskopf designed golf course at Black Desert from October 9th to October 13th. This marks a historic return of the PGA Tour to Utah after more than 6 decades. So dramatic each time. Is that not so dramatic?
I'm pumped.
Yeah.
That was what? I have chills.
It makes me not want to be here.
Yeah.
Ready to go double bogey something?
Yeah. Double bogey would be nice for me. That's a good score for me. It's a very good score. I pump my fist like Tiger when I get a double bogey. Hey, we have an incredible guest today. We got Dan Posner from Big Leap. How are you, my friend? Posner? Posner?
You know, I respond to both. Posner is the preferred.
Posner.
But, you know, just...
Did you get the, hey, Dan's a poser throughout high school?
I went through like 8th grade, 9th grade.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just died off.
All right. So I'm the first person to bring it up
In
since
like
9th grade.
20-something years, so thanks
Okay.
for that memory.
Sorry, poser, dude. Dan Posner is here. Garrett Clark is here. Way less important, but he is here. He is somehow here.
I'm here. You can't get rid of me.
Let's get into it. Dan, tell us what's going on at Big Leap.
Alive and thriving. Big Leap, for those who know us or don't know us, been around for about 16 years, based out of Lehigh. And we, help business owners, marketing leaders with trying to make more money, save money, or avoid the what I call the oopsie daisy moments, which cost you a lot of money. But
So Big Leap is like does marketing, but it's more than that, right? Like you do even more than marketing. Do you like SEO, things like that? Or is that all the same thing?
yeah, our world specifically, if you're looking at like which arrows are in the quiver, search engine optimization, all kinds of paid search, and there's a few little ancillary things here and there, but that makes up the majority of what we do.
This was what I was going to ask you, because before we were talking about, the history of the Dodgers name,
were.
how they got it, and you showed me the AI thing that pops up now. So how does AI change SEO? That's a pretty big deal.
How long do we have in this meeting today?
As long as you want. Yeah.
So that was fun, right? We said, hey, how did the Dodgers get their name? And if you do a quick search for that and jump on Google and go, how did the Dodgers get their name? What's interesting now is not too long ago, you'd get what we'd call an answer box. And some company would have tried to optimize the search result to be the right answer and to have the thing pop up at the very top that gave you the answer to that question. And now Google's claiming most of that with AI. And so if we look at that search right now, right, what is it? How did the Dodgers get their name? There we go. AI overview. The Los Angeles Dodgers. Shout out Clint. Name comes from the Brooklyn Trolley Dodgers.
It says shout out Clint. That's sweet.
Yeah, you made
It's
it.
good at Google.
Go Dodgers.
Guess they're listening.
A nickname given to the team in 1896 because fans would dodge the electric trolley tracks. And there you go. It says this is a experimental generative AI experience. At least that's what I get on my phone. I don't know what shows up on the desktop. It can be different at times.
Yeah. So it is because they were trying to dodge that trolley. What I find is interesting, and maybe I forgot or didn't know, is that it was an electric trolley.
It was probably a Tesla.
So this is nothing new.
No,
It's electric crap.
Tommy Edison.
Why is Elon acting like he had anything to do with
not new.
anything?
Tommy Edison had that stuff figured out a long time ago.
Oh my gosh. We're
Yeah.
living in a dumb age now.
Just rinse and repeat.
You dam a river, you make electricity from there, and you put it into a trolley car.
But people have to be worried about what AI is going to do for SEO, given that
Sure.
so much marketing spend goes into SEO. I mean, obviously the biggest people are probably worried about is Google themselves, but what about companies?
Yeah, a lot of the decision making that we make at Big Leap or in my own life is, okay, let's look at the principle and then try to tie it down to action items, what we can do. And I think, just talk about Google for a second here. Last year, according to any reports that I've read or seen, in terms of revenues, Google's somewhere around $307 billion in revenue. Any guess on the number one driver of where that revenue comes from?
Search.
Search.
70, 80?
It's depends on what report you read. But if we did a search on it, we'd probably see a few different answers, but it's somewhere around $250 billion of their
an
305.
enormous chunk of it.
It's roughly, let's call it 80%.
Yeah.
So about 80% of Google's revenue comes from search. So, okay, there's principle number one. Where do they get their money? Principle number two, does Google want to make more money? Yes, they're not trying to go backwards. They want to keep on growing. They want to make money. This is their number one driving force in how to make money. So I don't think they're trying to shoot themselves in the foot and go, well, let's give away all answers just from AI and not have anyone click on any of our stuff and get search. They're just looking at different ways to monetize. So I think that's principle number one, is Google's not going anywhere. Principle number two is, well, why would Google disappear? Why would they not get as much search anymore? Well, at the end of the day, I use Google, you use Google. Why? I'm looking for an answer for something.
Mm-hmm.
Either I'm looking for just a fun factual one, like why did the Dodgers get their name? Or I'm looking for a crepe pan. My wife loves making crepes, and ours is getting kind of nasty. It's time to get a new one for her, or whatever it is. We're looking to answer a question, buy something, research something, figure out who's going to come and help me with my foundation work in my house, because being an adult sucks, and all of a sudden you got $6,000 expenses to fix your leaky basement that you don't want to pay for, but you got to do it, and you got to figure out who's going to do it. And you do it, and you get bids ranging from $5,000 to $42,000. Welcome to my life right now, hooray! But Google's not going anywhere, right? The only way that Google disappears or stops to be a force in the search space is if their answers suck. If their answers are no longer good, and they don't provide you with the answer of why are the Dodgers called the Dodgers, and they don't help Garrett over here with researching scopes and gardening equipment, then we stop using it. And we look to other resources, and maybe it's TikTok search, maybe it's Bing, because now we're 75 years old and we're using Bing because it comes with our computer and we don't know how to install Chrome or Firefox or something instead. But
people use Bing.
So here's a little marketing trick: if you're marketing to an older demographic, Bing's actually a fantastic search engine to do that with.
Really?
And the reason being, grandma and grandpa, mom or dad go to Best Buy or wherever, buy a computer, bring it home, and it's not a Mac in this case. Let's say it's a PC. What's the internet that comes with that?
Oh, interesting.
Was it Edge? That's what they would call it now. I don't remember anymore.
Yeah, I think it is Edge. This is a PC thing. I never know what this thing is called. Let me see. Yeah, it is called Edge.
It's Edge. Well, you open up Edge and you do a search in Edge, and what's the native functionality? It's Bing. And so if you're doing some kind of a Medicare campaign or something where you're targeting someone in their 60s or above, and you want to make sure that you're getting more of them as opposed to a 32-year-old, Bing's actually a pretty good search engine to use for certain campaigns.
Interesting. Yeah, that's cool. So there are a lot of, not to go too deep on this, but let's do it. And you're probably thinking about this all the time. Around the search thing, and just let's focus on what we just did. We put that up. There's this AI generated here's a number of sources that gave us this answer. What are the copyright has got to be the biggest lawsuit in the history of the world coming up. Like, how do they get away with that? How does anybody get away with that?
When you know the answer to that, please tell me.
Yeah, I mean, that's the big question, right? Is like, you obviously just created that answer, but you used proprietary data to do it.
Right. We're seeing that with clients, and just the general principle, once again, is great. AI, ChatGPT put this article together. Where did it pull that information from? Where's the sourcing? Where's the information? So now I prompted them, do I own this piece of content? Is all this content that's been created now actually owned by ChatGPT? And if it starts to be monetized somehow, do they get credit for it as opposed to me? Like, there's all these questions that I think we're out in front of our skis, over our skis, to use an analogy that people in Utah will understand. And I think people are just making it up right now to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
You asked the question kind of at a high level, how does AI affect, or how is it going to impact SEO? Well, it already is.
Yeah.
But if you go back to that principle of anyone who's going to Google or any search engine, you're searching for something, you're looking for something. And from a high level perspective, it's let's give people answers to our questions. And as we give people answers to their questions, we're earning value, we're earning trust, we're showing up in front of them, and we're hoping that equity is going to result in profit and a sale and a lead and whatever it is. And AI is changing it a little bit, but actually not that much. Like that same answer we just looked at, right, with how did the Dodgers get their name? Well, now it's AI overview.
Yeah.
But 6 months ago, 2 weeks ago, it would have been just a featured snippet.
Just a link.
It
Yeah.
would have been a link.
Yeah, yeah.
And it still has the link.
Yeah.
So has it really changed that much?
Yeah.
Not
that's true.
yet. Not really.
Yeah, and even OpenAI is now including links in all of the searches and stuff. But it's going to be fascinating in how all of that shakes out from a legal perspective. I have no idea how any of that is legal, but also how do you stop it? Like, what could a court do to stop that? That's so weird.
Good luck. Obviously, people are interested / confused on a lot of this stuff. Do you find this to be good for business with y'all? Because you guys know your stuff of the past 15, 20 years, however long y'all have been at it.
Mm-hmm.
And you're looking around the corner into the future, trying to proof yourself for that. Is it good for business that people are confused and they're like, damn it, I used to be able to do this by myself, but we better give Dan a call? Or are they going to give it a go themselves?
It's all the above, because it's, damn it, I got to give Dan a call because I don't know what's happening. And it's, ooh, cool, I could do this myself. It's just, when the car came out, there are people who are going, screw that, that's some newfangled invention, I'm going to stick with my horse. And there are people that went, this is amazing. And I think it's here, it's happening, it's not going anywhere. And it's just a matter of understanding, how do we leverage this for our good and for our clients' good? And we're all trying to figure it out together.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit before, for you guys in interactions with new clients, if they know what they're doing, they know who wants their product, they have kind of a vision and a path, it's a lot easier for y'all. If they don't, then remedies need to be taken. But let's say I'm a company, I've got enough money to engage with y'all.
Mm-hmm.
What would the steps be, the courtship, the marriage, the onboarding, and ultimately how does the relationship work?
And what would the honeymoon look like?
Oh, gosh. Somewhere where I can have 2 mudslides, 1 in each hand, and maybe Puerto Vallarta.
Okay.
Well, I was just going with your analogy. You skipped like a pretty important part of it.
That's true. What do
This
I
is
don't know
Utah.
anything.
Why date? Just get married. Just get
It's
married.
your analogy. I'm just building off of it.
There, well done. That's what Clubhouse.
Any marketing leaders that have, worked for more than a year or two have hired well or have hired poorly, either internally or at agency is no different. And it's really easy to just have a good salesperson kind of, sell you the moon and stars. And then 3 months later realize that guy was full of crap. So, dating process for us and any good agency is both teams are doing their due diligence. The client should be, and they should be asking questions like, hey, this all sounds good, but who do I actually work with once all is said and done? And does that person actually have experience in my industry or not? Or how long have they been doing it? Because agency life, you can build process, you can build all the right steps, but really it's the people you engage with. It's kind of not even the company, it's the people you engage with that really are going to help to determine if you have success or not. So, on the client side, they should be asking those kind of questions, in my opinion. That's what I've learned from 16-ish years of doing this. On the Big Leap side, in this case, or on the agency side, you don't want to pull on that client that you know is going to suck. You know they're going to be just calling you 3 times a day. Nothing you do is good enough. Like, it's not fun for you either, and it ends up burning out your team members. And so much for us is trying to create a good experience for our clients, and equally trying to create a great experience for our people, or else we're not going to keep those people.
Yeah.
They're gone. And so you want to do that. And so we have our funny little acronym internally. We call it our Big Leap Bicep, and the BI, 2 I's in this case, CEP, and they each stand for a kind of a qualifying metric of, on our side, what's going to make a good marriage, what's going to make a good relationship. But that P and bicep for us stands for personality. And it's kind of the tiebreaker is our team going to really enjoy working with this group, or are they going to be shooting me daggers the next 3 months going, why'd you bring them on? Like, they're awful to work with. So anyway, it's a mix. It's a marriage. Both sides have to be happy, or it's not going to last.
Yeah, that's interesting.
A lot of parents have this problem. Well, not as much as it used to be, because kids don't ride their bikes or go outside, but you used to get a lot of flat tires. And let's use this as an example. You're a tinkerer and an inventor, and you come up with a tire that never goes flat, but also performs better than a piece of foam that's hardened. You got enough money to get some product, and it works, and you've got a little website and all of that, and you've got enough money to pay Big Leap. What would the strategy be to sell this tire?
Heavy hitting questions here.
Yeah, who's the tire in this situation?
The business owner.
The business owner is the tire?
No, not the actual inanimate
They're
object.
buying a tire?
They've
I'm
got a
following you,
tire.
Garrett. I got you.
They've invented a new tire. They've got some funding. They've got
Oh, they invented a tire.
yeah,
Okay.
because their problem
I
was
missed
I'm
that
sick
part.
of like changing my kids' inner tube tires
Okay.
constantly.
All right.
Um,
I think I understand.
but
Slime.
their
Do you understand,
background
Dan, what he's asking?
is not in marketing,
I've got
right?
a
In
product.
digital marketing.
I got a product that I think is fantastic. I've got some social proof and I want to get it out to the masses. How do I
Yeah.
do that? Awesome. All right. A few just tips and tricks because we could spend to get a whole episode just on kind of step by step of what to do there. But a few things that are great or would be helpful if this was my business and what I've learned. One is get social proof. So get the mom down the street, get the dad down the street, get the whatever it is, get the social proof and capture it, because in today's day and age, people don't buy anything, unfortunately, unless they can see that it has 4.89 stars and this many reviews. And so you want to capture that social proof as quickly as you can. Number two, try to get it in video format if you can. Video eye-to-eye relationships help to build trust, even if it's eyes looking at each other on a screen. It's still helpful. So get some social proof of some kind. So if you got an e-commerce website or e-commerce product, there's no need to reinvent the wheel sometimes. Shopify as a platform is a great platform.
Yeah.
And there are other really good options out there as well. But in general, what we see is groups that are just successful from the e-commerce standpoint are on a Shopify type of site. Number three, know your audience. Purple mattress is one of the few exemptions to this I think I've ever seen, where when we've joked with Alex over there, we worked with them for a while, and we said, hey, who's the target audience? And they said, well, everyone that sleeps. Like, yeah, that's a fun little cliche or a funny way to look at it. And they're right. And they just put pennies of advertising into anyone that sleeps, and it helped them launch their brand. Most brands, if they try to do that kind of shotgun approach, waste all their money. And so it's more, all right, how do I really know who my audience is? And in this case, maybe it's dads, because the dads are the one who are changing the tires and are sick of it. And so we're buying that TARDIS, what the heck, I just put that on my son's bike not too long ago. It's this like foam thing that goes inside the tire, and then you fill up the tube and it makes it so that the goat heads don't actually puncture the tire. But who's the audience, and how do we get in front of that audience, and where does that audience spend their time? And if that audience spends their time on Instagram, then that's a great place to be in front of them. On Facebook, that's a great place to be in front of them. So who's that person you're actually trying to go after? What's your offer? There's just a few thoughts that come to mind. There's lots of things we could jump into, right?
How do you really nail social media, though? Like, that is so hard. Like, you can be posting all the time, posting it all the times they tell you to, but, you know, that's probably the hardest thing I can think of, even for, like, us, for, like, a Silicon Slopes to bring it to us. Like, I don't know how to do that.
So 2 quick thoughts. One is, when you look at social, there's really 2 sides of social. There's the organic side of social, which is where you're putting your posts together and you're sharing videos and you're doing this, and it's more of that content. And then there's the ad side, where you're paying to get in front of the right person, hopefully at the right time. And once again, with social, you can't really target by keyword intent, where if you go to Google and, I'm selling crepe pans, great, I can search for crepe pan, and as the client, as the company that's selling them, I can target and say, when someone searches for this exact thing, I want to show up. Well, social, you can't do that. With social, you're more going, hey, I want to show up in front of dads that live in this part of the country that it seems like they maybe make this type of money, and they like Tom Clancy books.
Yeah.
And you're targeting them more by demographics and by hobbies. But on the ad side, so there's the social side of the organic, and there's the paid side. It used to be that you could have a lot of success just with the organic side. And you could share, you could be shared, you could repost, and you could actually make some real traction. And probably like 5-6 years ago, there was just this big change where if you weren't putting money into it in ads, it was like Verizon or whoever, Apple throttling your iPhone 11 that's 3 years out of date, and they're no longer going to give you the right service. You just couldn't get the reach you wanted. So it really turned into you had to have ads going on, or else you're screwed.
Yeah.
So I don't know. There's some thoughts on social.
Yeah.
I had some other great thought, and I should have written it down. It'll come back to me.
You
in 3
said something
minutes.
interesting that I've been thinking about a lot, and as I meet with founders and various folks who are trying to build something, they always try to build every piece of the business when it's already been figured out, and there's a whole business. Like imagine like trying to build Shopify. Well, if you can build Shopify, then you should be Shopify. You should be like a competitor to Shopify.
Sure.
What are you actually trying to do? Right? Focus in on that. Focus is so hard for companies, and I imagine even for product companies, like just to stay focused on what you're actually doing is so difficult. Rather than trying to build the tech that powers every little thing, because those are enormous companies.
As a service agency, which is what we are, it's easy to fall in the trap of you're doing a good job for a partner and they go, hey, this is great. Can you also do this for us? And we've lived that trap where we go, sure, we'll figure that out. We'd love to. You're paying us money? Yeah, let's do that. And then I think you learn over the years of you just start chasing your tail in circles, and it's better to just own what you do and who you are. And that's where we've lived that life now, going, look, this is who we are. And this might change in the future, but as of today, 82% of our revenue, something like that, is SEO. It's not the sexiest thing in the world. There's much flashier things, but it works. It's worked for years, and we're very good at it. And it's 82% of our revenue.
Yeah.
That's who we are. 18% of our revenue is paid search. It's something that's been growing quickly for us, but those are the things we do. And so if someone comes to us and says, hey, I really want you to build out this giant website for me, or I want you to do this or that, like, that's awesome. Thank you. Let's bring in a partner who does a great job at that, because that's what they do. And then let's tap in when it's time for us to help. Yeah, it's too easy to chase your tail in circles. As Dodger's doing out there today with his little cone of shame on.
Dodger the dog.
Dodger has 8 weeks of cone when he only needed 1.
Oh,
It's his own fault.
damn it, Dodger.
Oh, one other quick thought on that is what's a frustration for us, an interesting frustration for us, is as we end up with, as any of us do in business, we're pitching against other people from time to time. Whether you're laying concrete or you're doing SEO work, you're pitching other groups. And we hear all the time, hey, this group we're talking to has this proprietary AI software that blah, 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 blah. And we're kind of rolling our eyes going, sure they do.
Yeah.
Like, they're not a software agency. They don't have more money than ChatGPT or this group or that does. Like, it's just marketing. They're just selling you on the fact that they've labeled it this and it's this other thing behind the scenes. And if that's what you want, go for it. If you want a group that's not going to BS you about crap like that, then let's chat. But if you like the BS, go drink that Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
But same idea.
How much time do you spend? Because I used to run a software development firm, Izeni, and I'd spend so much time talking to clients about, well, what do you actually want to do? Like, yeah, we could build all of this. It cost you $1.5 million. Like, I don't know why you'd want to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could just use, everything that already exists and focus on the one thing that's going to be a differentiator for you. How often are you as an agency trying to explain that to clients?
Very often, but it really comes down to them looking at it going, well, if we also have a software component or have this, then our valuation becomes ... If we're just a service or product, then our valuation is ... And so I think it's
that's
more
interesting.
the valuation side.
Yeah, I guess if you've taken money, you do have to worry about that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I was recently talking to a buddy that works a lot in the bookkeeping of e-commerce companies. And there's been some whack jobs on the poor e-commerce folks recently with like Apple and maybe even Facebook and all the others. Did you guys know in advance of these things? If so, how far? And then what do you do to mitigate?
Yeah, a few thoughts. One, I think what you're referencing is how in the last handful of years, Apple specifically, but they've made it, they're prioritizing privacy, which if they're actually prioritizing privacy, great. If they're doing it for the sake of social credibility, I don't know. But they're prioritizing privacy, and that's where you see all the websites now that say, hey, we use cookies. Do you accept our cookies or do you not accept our cookies?
Oh, I hate that.
Right?
That's
And
the worst.
any of that is, from a marketing standpoint, we used to be able to look into Google Analytics, for example, and be able to say, great, here's your full breakdown of traffic. Out of 100% of your traffic, 52% is coming from organic search, and here's some of the keywords. 42% is coming from this. This is email. This is social, right? And you could really see that. And nowadays, when you go to break down a lot of that traffic, and if you're just using the native kind of Google properties, great, 42% of your traffic came from this. Of that 42%, 10% is this, and this is undefined. And they just give you a kind of a gray cloud.
Because they can't legally?
I don't know if it's because they can't legally or because that's in their interest to not, because they want to have more paid search traffic coming through, or what the exact reasoning would be. But yeah, it's become more difficult to what we would call in our niche attribution, And attribution meaning, hey, I was on, let's say, Facebook, looking at Facebook Marketplace because I'm looking for a 7-wood because I can't hit my irons anymore. And somehow I ended up just on Facebook at this spot and I saw this company and I clicked on it and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. And then 2 weeks later, I saw another ad for it. And now I go directly to the site. I'm like, yeah, that's interesting. And then next thing you know, I got emailed by them with a 10% off coupon. I'm going, yeah, it's time to buy. Let me try this. And I got a new 7, whatever it is. Well, from the marketing standpoint, the marketers have to decide what's the attribution. Is it the click that I did on Facebook that got me to see them originally? That's getting credit. Is it the email that actually I purchased from? So marketing side, you're trying to figure out, where do I give credit to? Because at the C levels going, well, spend more money here and less money here. That's not giving you any leads. And then the marketing team's going, actually, that's where they were originated from. But we're using last touch attribution, so you don't actually see that. So I don't know. If it's done, all of this is done for the sake of we're trying to protect individuals' privacy. Great. The reality is the Googles and Apples and whoever else of the world, they know more about us than we know about ourselves at times. So it feels a little bit disingenuous. Yeah. And it makes it a little bit more difficult on the marketing side.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I trust the $1 trillion monopolies.
To some degree, I like targeting because I like that I can pull up, and I'm not a big social media user personally, but I like that if I do pull up Twitter to look at some sports news and try to figure out, what the name of the hockey team is going to be here in Utah. I have a few thoughts there, but we'll get to that later. I don't mind that. The things that it's showing me are things I actually like. It's golf equipment. Mm-hmm. It's woodworking stuff. I like doing woodworking. I love gardening, so they know my interests as opposed to giving me stuff I just don't care about. So in some ways, I like the targeting.
Yeah, that is true.
Hockey name. You grew up in Connecticut, right?
Mm-hmm.
What did you say? You are a nutmegger?
Yes. Shout out to anyone that knows anything about Connecticut. But yeah, that's the nutmeg state. Why? I don't know.
But you guys lost a team, the Hartford Whalers. We should throw that one back in the mix because there's no Jazz in Utah. There's no Whalers in Utah. But it would be cool to resurrect an old hockey brand.
I have a Hartford Whalers t-shirt and a Hartford Whalers hoodie. And when I travel, I usually wear one or the other, depending on where I'm traveling, if it's cold or not, just to see if some random person in the airport walks by and is like, dude, Whalers, cool shirt. Just kind of an old shout out, right?
Did the team just die or was it bought?
They went to Carolina.
They went to Carolina.
So they're the Hurricanes now.
Yeah, if you're in southern Utah, they're the Hurricanes.
But I think the Whalers had a pant jersey at one point too. They were pretty wild there for a while. But a pretty cool hockey team.
One of the greatest logos I think I've ever seen, also with kind of the whale tail and just the way it's shaped. You got this kind of H in the background that you don't really notice till you see it's there and you go, oh my gosh, there's the H and the W. It's just a great logo.
Yeah, it is. We can do something that we can attribute.
Let's do it.
Right? Like, again, not my world. I'm 100% sure I used the internet incorrectly. Clint's known this for a long time. But
we'll do a lot of viruses.
We'll do a promo. Right?
Do it. Am I doing it? You doing it?
You do it.
Wait,
I'm doing it.
What are you doing?
We're going to attribute something to Silicon Slopes.
I like it. Hey, if anybody here is listening is in need of some marketing help, either you're spending a bunch and you're going, this isn't working, I don't trust or I don't like what's happening with the people I'm working with, and hopefully that's not the case, but if it is the case, you're looking to make some more money, you're looking to save some money versus what you're spending, or you're going, hey, I got a big site migration coming up and we've just acquired a brand, or we're about to change the name of our brand and we want to make sure when we do that, we don't drop half our traffic off, which happens way too often. People don't do a good site migration. Hit us up. Reach out to us, say hello. On our website there, you'll see just in that homepage, there's a form to fill out. So if you're Mariah Carey, shout out Mariah if you're listening. Just go ahead and write. She totally is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's call in again, Mariah. Happy to take your call.
Long-time listener, first-time caller for her. Just write your name, Mariah Silicon Slopes, in that name field right there. And then last name, put your last name. But that way when it comes through, it's going to come in as like Mariah Silicon Slopes Carey. And when that comes through, we'll know that you heard about it from the show, and that's why you reached out. And anyone that does that, if we end up being a good fit, it's a good marriage, and it's what you need at the time, we'll also throw a 10% discount on services for you. So it's a nice way of trying to pay it back.
So is it Mariah Silicon Slopes, the person's last name, or Carey?
Either one.
Okay, cool.
Let's probably do your last name, but maybe your last name and Carrie, just to make it really confusing and fun.
But you guys will know that people are listening to Dan
We will know.
talk about digital marketing.
You got it. And the Whalers.
Hey, real quick, our good friend Papa P, David Politis, broke a story, I think.
Yeah.
Because it says breaking news in all caps.
He loves it.
Utah-based Venafi is being bought by CyberArk for $1.54 billion in cash and stock from private equity firm Tama Brava. Guarantee I said that wrong. So good, congrats to Venafi. Although this is the second time this has happened to them, right?
Might be, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that they've been bought before, so I don't know if the founders are still there or not. But congratulations nonetheless.
And
It's a big
Clint,
number.
you didn't know this, but Benify is a client of ours for quite a while.
Really?
We do a lot of work in kind of the technology.
Well,
niche
congratulations to
technology
you
space,
as well,
so
my friend.
Go Benify team. Congrats.
That's
Look
awesome.
at that. Put that logo on your website.
Right.
$1.54 billion exit. That's a good number.
Let's hope the owners can help get a baseball team to Utah now.
Yeah, let's go.
Well, there's more money here now.
A la Ryan Smith.
Another interesting story. The Wall Street Journal does this every year. The highest paid CEOs, and each year I'm hoping to see Clint Betts' name on.
Oh, how close did I get this time?
You're $4 billion and $9 is the highest paid CEO.
Okay, so I'm getting close.
Getting closer. You're no Hawk Tran, who total pay in millions was 161
Billion?
million
Oh,
for a year of work.
Which company?
That would be
Broadcom.
Cash pay was 1.2, so that'll keep you in beer and cigarettes. And then obviously a lot of these are tied to stocks and incentives and those. But I don't know. I stopped at number 10, which is Glenn Fogel from Booking Holdings, 46 million in total pay and 5 in cash.
Oh, NVIDIA's CEO did 300 million?
In stock and compensation.
Wow.
And then you've got like Warren and Elon that are hanging out in 0-0.
They're doing okay.
That's
close
actually the coolest, is when it's like Elon made nothing this year.
So
Took
hopefully,
no salary.
hopefully next year we can see Clint's name on there somewhere.
I'll be by Elon right next to him. Nothing.
0-0.
I don't know why they don't put me on there. Can I
Yeah.
be 0 too? What's the difference?
Shout out.
There's not much currently.
What's the difference between me and Elon? Nothing. Literally nothing.
We get paid the same. We're comparable CEOs.
Just work on that accent.
Oh yeah, I do need to work on that.
That South African accent going.
Thanks for coming in, man. Seriously. It's
Thanks
great
for
to meet
having
you.
me.
Everybody check out Big Leap. I've heard incredible things about you guys.
Yeah, you guys have been around for a long time, been rated. Which leads to this question. There's a lot of agencies, and I assume with what's happening in the market, a lot of them won't work. Do you think there's going to be some M&A consolidation in the digital marketing agency world?
It's an interesting time for agency. All kinds of industries are feeling that people are just nervous. And anytime you have an election year, especially with, I don't know how we ended up where we ended up with our presidential candidates today, but people are nervous. And we had all those years where e-commerce companies were just having incredible years because there was all this kind of like fake stimulus money thrown around and people were living large and
Stimmy.
right. So it's just an interesting time. Agency world is tough right now. People expect more for less money, free and yesterday, and if you don't deliver it, they're off. There's no loyalty. Right? It's one strike and you're gone. It's a tough life. So I would say yes. I expect to see more agency owners who are 3 months behind on paying bills or making payroll and going, this is not worth it anymore. Look for help. And not too long ago, I was there about 10 years ago with an agency that I ran. We weren't struggling or in that kind of situation where it was like, holy crap, we got to shut this down. It was more of a situation of, this is hard work. And if you're really not passionate about doing it, it's not going to last. And I had a few really great people at Legenics, shout out to Legenics years, that I was working with. And we just ended up going, you know what, this isn't the path forward for us, and got introduced to Brian Phelps, who's the CEO of Big Leap, and realized, hey, we're building the same house. We're doing the same thing, just a few miles apart from each other. Let's do it together. And that was 10 years ago. And it's been a lot of fun ever since. And so, yeah, if you're a struggling agency owner going, I'm not making payroll and my life sucks right now, reach out, ask for help. And chances are maybe another agency you can join another agency. 2 + 2 can equal 5 in this case, where your synergies really help out. So if anyone's in that situation, please don't hesitate. Come say hello, reach out to me. I'd love to lend a listening and very empathetic ear, because I've been there before. But then also see if maybe there's a chance for us to do something together.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that'd be cool. Very cool. All right. Who do we have tomorrow?
James Hadlock, who's a transformative executive coach. We've had him on in previous years. Should be a fun combo.
James's story is amazing.
I don't know if I've met James.
You will
tomorrow.
He's transformative.
I believe so.
That's big. That's a big.
Yeah.
All right. See everybody tomorrow.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks, Clint. Thanks, Garrett.